Hi, I'm Clyde Stokely, and today I'll be talking a little bit about an infinite damage loop deck. The main concept of the deck was first brought up by Jedi 1 Josh, and I saw some video responses asking for a complete set list, so I've gone ahead and added some cards I think would go well. So the main part of the loop is to get Mog Fanatic. His ability is to sacrifice him, and you can do 1 damage to target creature or player. A Kiki-Jiki Mirror Breaker, which his ability says that you can tap him and put a creature token into play, which is a copy of a target non-legendary creature. In this case, we'll choose the Mog Fanatic. And also we have a Thornbite Staff. Notice 2 things about this is 1, whenever a creature is put into a graveyard from play, untap this creature. And second, if he is put into play first, when Kiki-Jiki comes into play, we will not have to pay the equip cost. So we'll go ahead and attach Thornbite Staff to Kiki-Jiki, and we'll tap him to put into play a copy of Mog Fanatic. Now we can sacrifice one of the Mog Fanatics and do 1 damage to target player. Then when Mog Fanatic hits the graveyard, it will in turn untap Kiki-Jiki, thus allowing us to have our infinite loop. We'll tap him again to put in another copy of Mog Fanatic, sacrifice the other one to do 1 damage to target player, which untaps Kiki-Jiki, so on and so forth. So the cards that I've added to the deck I think would be very helpful. The first is Goblin Recruiter, which allows you to search your library for goblin cards and put them on top of your library. So obviously if you want more than you have in your hand already, or if you don't have either the Mog Fanatic or the Kiki-Jiki, you can go ahead and get those on top of your library very quickly. Since it's an only red deck, it might be a little challenge getting that artifact. So I put in some gambles, which basically you can search your library for a card and put it into your hand. I think this would be very beneficial earlier in the game when you have lots of cards in your hand, since you have to discard a card at random. But being an only red deck, like I said, I didn't know any other way of helping out to ensure you getting that artifact into your hand. And also an Imperial Recruiter. Because both the Mog Fanatic and Kiki-Jiki have power less than 2, this Imperial Recruiter will also help you get those cards into your hand and out onto the board. So some other cards we have are Blaze and Heat Ray. They're essentially the same card. These will help you do direct damage to your opposing player's creatures to help keep them in check during the game until you're able to get your loop out onto the board. Also, a classic Lightning Bolt would do the same thing as help you keep your opponent's board under check until you can get your cards. And lastly, a Brightstone Ritual. This is just a mana card. I put it in there to ensure having enough mana for your Heat Ray and your Blaze in case they get a big creature out before you have the cards you need. And finally, I put in a few Terramorphic Expanses. The reason I did this is because your loop essentially has a very low mana cost. This kind of helps speed up the deck. If you get some of these Terramorphic Expanses early in the game, that'll help you dig out some of those mountains, therefore ensuring that you hopefully pull a non-land card maybe by the 5th, 6th, 7th turn. So 14 creatures in total. I have 4 of everything except the Kiki-Jiki because it is a legendary creature. I did put 2 in there just in case one of them is terrored or lightning bolted or anything else, so you will have a second chance to get that out into play. I have 22 other spells, 4 of everything except I have only 2 Brightstone Rituals. And then finally, for land, I have 8 Terramorphic Expanse and 16 Mountain. Here's a complete list of the cards, their rarity, and which sets they can be found in. Some of the numbers can be played with if you think you have a mana issue. Of course, you can maybe add some more Brightstone Rituals. If you're not comfortable using the Terramorphic Expanses, you can swap those out for some Mountains. And also, if you're uncomfortable with only having 2 Kiki Jikis in your deck, you're more than welcome to swap those out for some other cards. So I hope you enjoyed it. Please post responses.